Taz. Yeah. Set me free and give me death, there ain't no other choices. When I lay down to go to sleep, I keep on hearing voices. Little whispers in my head, man, is you fake or loyal? Why no water, death to sign a baby, pick your poison. These little demons living underneath my bed, creeping. Know the real monster lives above them all, sleeping. That subtle breathing in your closet every single evening. Thought you never see me again, looks can be deceiving. When they hear the sound of the drum, they'll be saying, oh Lord, here they come. Yeah, here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Here we come. I used to think that people die because they wicked. Nowadays people wanna see you dead because you gifted. Been ready for my tomb since I came up out the womb. So no matter what, I'm coming back and paying you a visit. Saw it coming, I predicted, but y'all wouldn't listen. No, you can't protect your riches if you never burn bridges. Flip pages, went places, made changes, still dangerous. Now I'm back, altercation, hold still, I make it painless. How it feel, baby? When you say you love me, is it real, baby? Full speed, both hands on the wheel, baby. Young Taz coming from the Mobile, baby. You know the drill, baby. Yeah. And when you hear the sound of the drum, we'll be saying, here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come. Here we come.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Valentine's Day here from King Arena. I'm Nate Stein alongside Caleb Springer. You're watching the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network. Big CCIW matchup tonight between the Thunder and the Carthage Redmen. If the Thunder can pull out a win tonight, they are into the CCIW tournament for the first time in 4 years.
Yeah, this is a huge game, a big accomplishment for the Thunder if they can make it into the playoff. They haven't been there since, actually no player on the court has been to the conference tournament, so this is a huge game for them.
An interesting matchup here for the Thunder. The Redmen best scorers are both guards standing at 5'10 and 5'11, but Carthage also has the ability to go pretty big with 6'10 and 6'11 players on their roster.
Yeah, I mean they got big guys and they got some really good scoring guards. Jordan Thomas, who actually played on the same high school team as Ricky Samuelson, is scoring around 19 points per game, and in a game against Milliken earlier this year, he had 40 points on 11 three-pointers. So he's certainly someone to watch tonight.
Yeah, the backcourt duo of Jordan Thomas and Derek Mason can absolutely pour it in for the Redmen. Talking to Coach John Panner before the game of the Thunder, his keys to the game were keeping their size out of the paint and making them score over the top of our bigs and making sure that Keenan Baltimore is forced to play some defense. He's a pretty big offensive producer. He's dropping in 17 points per game, and if the Thunder can make him work on the defensive end, Coach Panner thinks that gives him a really good shot to win.
Yeah, and Baltimore had 31 points against Wheaton in their last meeting on January 17th, so he's certainly someone to keep an eye on. They got to make him go left. And
something to watch for on the Redmen side, Brad Perry, the usual starting center, a really big body at 6'11", 285 pounds, questionable tonight. He is not in the starting lineup. Instead, we'll see the 6'10 freshman Sean Johnson starting at center. Perry might come off the bench. Coach Jurakovic was very non-committal in the pregame talk. Right now, we are going to send it onto the court for the opening ceremony. Stick with us here on the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network.
I didn't even do it right that time, but you wanted to like hit the lines on your side. So like you want and just either get closer or either one.
for the Redmen of Carthage College. Number 4, a 5'11 junior from Northfield, Illinois, Jordan Thomas. A 5'10 senior from Grays Lake, Illinois, Derek Mason. Number 24, a 6'5 sophomore from Zion, Illinois, Keenan Baltimore. A 6'4 senior from Hawthorne Woods, Illinois, number 25, Brad Cruz. And number 34, a 6'10 freshman from Chicago, Sean Johnson. Carthage is coached by Bosco Jerakovic. Here are the starters for your Wheaton College Thunder. Number 1, a 6'1 junior from Tyler, Texas, Aston Francis. A 6'5 junior from Maitland, Florida, number 3, Kobe Eichelberger. Number 22, a 6'3 senior from Northfield, Illinois, Ricky Samuelson. A 6'8 sophomore from Chicago, number 25, Jay Spencer. And number 34, a 6'4 junior from Medina, Ohio, Luke Peters. The Thunder is coached by Mike Schauer, assisted by John Panner and Shante Gibbs.
And we are back over on the sideline, just moments away from tip-off between the Thunder and the Redmen. Caleb, we talked a little bit about the CCIW implications before this game, but just a quick look at the standings. The Thunder 9-4 in conference, sitting in that 4 seed right now. The Redmen 7-6, so 2 games behind the Thunder, but with 3 to play. And like we said before, if the Thunder get a win tonight, they lock in at least a 4 seed with another huge matchup coming up this Saturday against North Central right here in King Arena.
Yeah, not only do you clinch if you win, if you're the Thunder, but you're only 1 game back from first place. There's a huge logjam at the top with North Central, Illinois Wesleyan, and Augustana. So all sorts of tiebreakers can come into play, but at the end of the day, you just got to win this game right here.
Johnson wins the tip away from Spencer. That's back to Jordan Thomas. Peters guarding Thomas. Swung to the right wing for Mason. Driving in is Cruz. Trying to go up and under. Good defense from Samuelson, but it will stay Redmen ball.
Brad Cruz, number 25, is Mr. Do Everything for Carthage. He averages 16 points, 7 rebounds. He's first in the CCIW in steals and 3rd in blocks. So he's all over the place.
Thomas drives in, throws up a floater, and scores first for the Redmen.
And Thomas is legit. He went to Northern Illinois out of high school, and now he transferred to Carthage.
And as you mentioned before the game, Ricky Samuelson and Jordan Thomas, they were the backcourt for New Trier High School. And you can imagine how good those guys were. Samuelson leading the nation in three-point percentage, and Caleb, you mentioned that Jordan Thomas was in the top 20 in that same statistical category. So some pretty good shooters coming out of New Trier. Thomas up top, swings it to Mason. Mason kicks it out to Cruz. Down low, but too hot to handle for Derek Mason, Thunder ball.
And these are 2 teams who the last couple games have gone in different directions. Wheaton has won 3 in a row, and Carthage has lost 2 in a row. So we'll see if Wheaton can either continue their momentum or if Carthage can get out of their slump.
Francis with the long skip pass. Spencer puts it back up for Samuelson. Peters working on the baseline against Johnson. And there's that size of Sean Johnson as he blocks Peters on the up and under. Eichelberger driving in and finishing at the end of the shot clock.
Carthage is in a box and 1 right now. They are guarding Aston Francis, and the other 4 players are playing 2 up and 2 down. It's interesting to see how this will play out. No opposing team, I believe, has played a box and 1 against Aston Francis so far. So keep an eye on that.
Peters will be whistled for travel. And right away, Carthage looking pretty confident in that box and one. Usually they do play man. We've seen a little bit of zone this season out of them. It'll be interesting to see as this game progresses if they bring out that three-quarter press. Thomas pulls up for a deep three. Rebound, Mason. Mason with the follow. Spencer rips a rebound from Baltimore. Eichelberger in transition. Down low to Peters on the baseline. Jay Spencer up top, pulls up for three. Wide open look at it. Off the back iron, long rebound to Jordan Thomas. And he'll slow things up before getting across half court.
Yeah, so far, this Carthage box and one has gotten the Wheaton Thunder offense, one of the best in the country, out of rhythm. They just got to play their normal offense.
And Keenan Baltimore with a nice up and under.
It's a different look, but you still have to screen, you still have to cut, and right now they're just standing around.
Peters drives in, kicks it to Eichelberger, wide open three. Off the front iron. Rebound ends up with Cruz.
Essentially, they're just saying anybody but Aston beat us. And, I mean, it's only 3 minutes in, but it looks like the Thunder are a little bit flustered so far.
Johnson up top, swings it to Mason. Mason, a deep two, and he's able to draw the foul from Peters.
Yeah, Carthage, I mean, early on, see here on the replay, yeah, he got hit on the arm. Carthage, early on, has really just come out with the energy. Wheaton looks a little flat.
Mason's first free throw rims out. Yeah, Caleb, I agree with you when you're saying that the Thunder coming out a little bit flat. It can be a little hard to get up for a game like this. I know it is a pretty big game, but looking ahead on the schedule, you have the rivalry game in senior night this Saturday against North Central. It's very easy to look past the Carthage team that's below you in the standings, looking ahead to the team directly ahead of you that can boost you into the 2 or into the 3 or even 2 or 1 seed in the CCIW.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows the importance of this game, because if they lose this game, they only have a 1-game lead for the 4 spot. If they win, they clinch it. So obviously huge ramifications tonight.
Francis up high, guarded by Mason, a deep three. Jay Spencer saves that one back in bounds. Peters ends up with it. And the ref will stop action for a second. Coach Schauer looks unhappy with that.
I think they're discussing whether the three-point
shot
hit the rim.
I think that was pretty obvious that it hit the rim. Pretty clear change of direction.
Yeah, I think it hit the rim too. So the clock is right. I believe it should be 27.
Yeah. From what I saw, there was no issues with that play. I thought maybe they were calling Jay Spencer out of bounds, but instead it'll just be Thunder ball up high. Samuelson pulls up for three. Sean Johnson showing some range in that long 6'10 frame, getting a piece of that one.
Yeah, Sean Johnson leads the conference in blocks, so that's no surprise. He has long arms.
Eichelberger ripping the rebound away from Johnson as we say that, and drawing the foul on Jordan Thomas. Spencer Peterson checks into the game for the first time for the Thunder.
On the offensive end, I mean, everybody besides Francis will get open shots. He's got to knock them down.
And so far, the Thunder showing an inability to do so. Just 1 of 8 to start out the game in the first 4+ minutes. Skip pass to Samuelson, wide open three. There it is.
You can easily shoot this team out of the box and one if you just start hitting those shots like that. Samuelson leading the country in three-point field goal percentage. Does just that.
And a great closeout effort from Keenan Baltimore. Just a little late getting to Samuelson as Cruz drives down low and bodies through.
Cruz is only 6'4", but he really uses his strength well. He can play down low. He can hit threes.
Yeah, both him and Baltimore, some pretty formidable wings on the offensive end, both at 6'4", 6'5", and 200+ pounds. So some pretty good sides that they can work down low. Mason pulls up for a three in transition, rebound Peters. Peters swings it to Peterson. One dribble, pull up, and he knocks it down. Thunder within 2. Cruz swings it through to Thomas. Down low for Baltimore. Johnson inside working on Peterson, and this is a really good matchup for the Thunder. Spencer Peterson, although not as tall as Sean Johnson, definitely has a strength advantage and a size advantage down low, a bigger body.
Sean Johnson's legit like 6'10", 6'11". He is very tall. Spencer Peterson's a tall man, and he is a good head above him.
Yeah, Kayla, we were talking about that before the game because you look at the Red Men roster, you have Sean Johnson at 6'10" and Brad Perry at 6'11", and like you just said, Sean Johnson looks every inch of that 6'10". Brad Perry might be a little bit of a stretch at 6'11", but a much bigger body, a roster 285, and I think that actually is close to the truth.
A great defensive possession there from Francis on the help side.
Peterson in transition finds Eichelberger. Good dish to Peters, up and under. Can't finish through the contact. It'll be Jordan Thomas with the foul, and Peters will go to the line to shoot a pair.
Yeah, this zone that Carthage is playing, at first it can shock you, but after a couple of possessions you realize there's a lot of holes in it. And it's really tough to play a good box and one. And Wheaton, the last couple of possessions, have done a good job getting the line. And Luke Peters made a free throw.
Luke Peters starting things off on the right foot from the charity stripe. We saw him actually working on his free throws after Carthage went back to their locker room pregame. And it seems to have paid off. We're going 1 of 2 there, but the first one looked good. Cruz with the ball handling duties. Swung around to Kennedy. Now Baltimore guarded by Eichelberger, and Eichelberger going to be called for the block. Just a little too much body contact. It will be Red Men ball down low.
Well, you got to make sure to get into Sean Johnson's body here. Like to run a little lob play.
Yeah, that was one of the things that Thunder assistant John Panner said pregame. Can't let Johnson and Perry just have lobs and get uncontested layups. You got to make them shoot over people. As a big three from Mike Kennedy from the corner puts the Red Men up 4.
That's only his 5th three-pointer of the season, so a little bit of an odd three-pointer there.
And a sloppy entry pass from Quam will lead to a Thunder turnover. Peters couldn't handle that one. And we'll get a quick timeout here from Coach Schauer. So good start from the Red Men, a little slow from the Thunder, just not shooting. But as you said, as we all know, this Thunder team can get hot in a second, and they could easily shoot this Red Men team out of the box and one defense.
Yeah, I mean, Wheaton is the best scoring offense, best offense in the CCIW by far. They're averaging 85 points per game, shooting 49%, which is, they're both first in the CCIW, and they also make around 10 threes a game. So, you know, you're not really worried right now if you're the Thunder. You know you're going to get hot. You know you'll start making them down, but at the same time, you can't really slack off. This is a key game. This is a game you got to be focused on for 40 minutes, and you don't want to get too much of a deficit early on.
Yeah, and obviously an offense that relies on the three-pointer as much as the Thunder do. It can be feast or famine. Sometimes all your boys can just go ice cold. The Thunder have started that way, just 1 of 7 from deep, 14.3%. Obviously, we expect that to turn around and hope that it does at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you have Ricky Samuelson shooting 56% from 3, Aston Francis has been lighting up. Kobe Eichelberger shoots 43% from 3. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if you get open shots, you're happy. If you're the Thunder, because they'll start falling.
Johnson up high. Swings it around to Thomas. Now Cruz with it. Cruz looking to get Baltimore inside. Instead, Thomas up top, guarded by Quam. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Cruz working the lane. Keenan Baltimore rises up, and a soft touch off the glass will put the Red Men up 6.
Just a great play by Cruz, taking Ricky off the dribble, dropping it off to Baltimore for the easy layup.
Quam looking to find Francis, guarded by Kennedy, now doubled by Cruz. Francis goes baseline, swings to Eichelberger, step up 3, and he knocks it down. Little contact after the release. but he cuts the deficit in half.
Good job of Aston there, recognizing the double team, not trying to force anything, finding the open shooter.
Kennedy driving in and just an easy job cutting right through the Thunder defense. Peterson thought about a corner three. Instead, swings it across to Samuelson. Eichelberger. Now Peterson pulls up for a deep two. Rebound Samuelson. There you see the shot affecting ability from Sean Johnson, forcing Eichelberger to throw it away. And now Cruz in transition will finish past Samuelson.
Cruz leads the conference in steals. I mean, he does that. He plays the top of this zone. You got to be careful for him.
Francis a little short on his three-point attempt. Now Eichelberger draws a foul from Johnson. Good pump fake. And that's a freshman moment from Johnson biting on that fake.
Yeah, Johnson, he's really tall, but that's a rebound you have to make. You can maybe get that in high school, but in college you really have to attack the ball. Just allow Eichelberger to get it.
So another quick timeout. This time it will be Coach Durakovic and Carthage. And with a 7-point lead, they're largest of the game. Carthage is pretty much doing exactly what they want to do.
Yeah, and early on, I mean, a stat that's kind of glaring is 14 points in the paint already for Carthage. So they are getting their baskets around the rim, while Wheaton is settling for a lot of three-pointers. Wheaton has shot 9 3-pointers and 5 2-pointers. See if Wheaton cannot. It's easy to settle when you get wide open threes for threes, and I know this is a three-point shooting team. But at the end of the day, you want a good balance. You want to go inside, and when you go inside, it actually opens up the three even more because the defense has to respect it.
And another thing not going the Thunder way, rather, would be the fact they're not getting anything out in transition. What the Thunder are going to try to do is run this Carthage team off the floor. The Thunder are incredibly athletic. They have a little bit more depth than this Redmen side, and if they can get out and run and get the bigs' legs a little bit more tired, I think this game will start to turn on pretty quickly. Eichelberger goes 2 of 2 from the charity stripe. Cruz still running the ball handling duties for Carthage. Gets it to Baltimore. Baltimore tries to go baseline. Swung around. Mason resets up top for Cruz, just 10 on the shot clock. Looking for Baltimore in the same spot, and Cruz goes up, can't finish, through some contact, no whistle. He wanted one.
Yeah, I think they missed that one. He got hit on the arm pretty hard.
Spencer dribble handoff to Samuelson. Now Jay looking for somewhere to go. Threads the needle to find Samuelson, but he can't finish.
Samuelson, one of the best field goal percentage players in the conference. He actually shoots better from 3 than from 2. Like literally statistically he does by like 0.2%. It's crazy.
Well, it's easy to shoot better from 3 when you're shooting 57%, I guess. Johnson will go to the line to shoot a pair. A solid pick and roll. That's going to be a big part of this Carthage offense, getting Johnson to work in that manner.
Johnson, 55% field goal free throw percentage on the season. He's now 17 of 32.
That's pretty much what you expect from a 6'10 player like Johnson, someone who makes a living in the paint. It's always a little bit awkward shooting at such a high angle. Thunder trailing by 5, 10:40 to play. Peters swings it to Spencer. Now Peterson. Francis gets a good look at a 3, falling away. He airmails it, but Luke Peters is there to clean up.
A good pass there by Francis.
Yeah, let's go with that.
I wonder if they count as an assist or missed 3. I think they did miss 3.
Yeah, they did miss 3. Kennedy guarded by Francis. Leeser gets it back up top for Cruz. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Cruz drives into the lane, tries to spin it with the left, and Johnson tips it out, handled by Francis.
Here we go.
Up ahead to Spencer. Spencer rises up and bangs it home. Jay Spencer threw some traffic there. That's what we've been waiting to see. Thunder within 1 now. Kennedy up top, looking for somewhere to go with it. Gets it to Leeser. Good job by Peters, denying Cruz the ball. And now Spencer bails out the Redmen with the foul late in the shot clock. Just 1 second left. We'll get another look, just reaching in with that left arm and blocking Leeser's progress.
Yeah, there's no way Leeser is quicker than you if you're Spencer. Just stay in front of him and don't use your hands and just stay straight up and you have him.
Francis getting in the passing lane takes that one away, and we'll finish with a transition layup, and the Thunder have their first lead of the game.
A pair of steals from Francis leads to a little 4-0 run.
Cruz gets it to Leeser. Back to Cruz on the left wing. Leeser pump fakes, gets Spencer in the air, swings it through. Corner 3 from Mason, no good. Rebound Spencer. Samuelson pump fakes, kicks it out. Spencer Peterson to corner 3. And now the Thunder's starting to get things going a little bit.
Peterson with some hot shooting. He's 2 of 3 for 5 points.
The Thunder extend their lead to 4 with 8:25 to play in the first half. Leeser has on the right wing. Cruz back to Thomas. 5 on the shot clock. Thomas guarded by Peters. Going into the lane, gets it to Johnson, and Johnson with a textbook finish. That's a really nice dish from Jordan Thomas.
Yeah, at the end of the shot clock, that's what you want. You want the ball in the hands of your best player and say, go one-on-one and make a play for us. That's what he did.
Peterson trying to go back-to-back, but that one off target. Rebound Cruz. Cruz's 4th rebound of the day already. Samuelson in the passing lanes this time. Rises up and under. Beautiful move to get around the 6'10 freshman.
Yeah, that was crafty. Samuelson knew that Johnson was going to go up with him. Goes under the basket with his right, reverse. Beautiful play by Samuelson.
Leeser directing traffic from the top of the key. Swings it to Johnson on the right wing. Now Mason driving in. Leeser inside to Johnson. Johnson loses the handle. And it will be Thunder ball. Last touch, Johnson, as he was sitting on the baseline.
It's good to see Trevor Gunter in the game. He played a little bit against North Park. He was coming back from a little injury that sidelined him for a week or so. A good role player for this Thunder team.
And Gunter, although he is 6'6", a little bit undersized with this matchup that he's going to have. Or I guess Johnson just came out of the game, which is a benefit for Gunter. And completely makes my point moot. So I will save that for later. Baltimore in transition, and Gunter's going to get whistled for a quick foul. Also, we got Cade Alioth in the game, someone we haven't seen since early on in the season. One of the pretty talented freshmen for the Thunder. If I'm remembering correctly, during the Lee Fun Classic, we got a Nate Haynes comparison out of Coach Shower for Cade Alioth.
Another turnover for the Redmen. They have 7 turnovers, I believe.
Yeah, that's number 7 on the day. And that's really not a good sign for the Redmen, coughing up the ball a lot, and they've gone ice cold. Here we'll get a look back at the Jay Spencer dunk in transition. That's a great look from Aston Francis, an underrated pass, and then Francis again on that same run, getting some for himself.
Francis should have dunked that.
Spencer Peterson staying hot from 3. He had a really solid game. He had a couple solid games last week. And here's Samuelson. We'll get another look at that really crafty finish. You can see him size up Johnson, and Johnson just a little ambitious, jumping early, trying to scare Samuelson, but a good, calm-headed finish from the senior.
Yeah, and Wheaton is actually 378th in steals per game in the country. They only average around 5 a game, and they have, I think, 3 what I would call pick 6 steals this game already, where a steal leads directly to wide open layup.
Quam at the top of the key, now Samuelson. Samuelson almost gets his pocket picked by Mason, sends it to Alioth, but Alioth cannot get a hold of it. He'll slide off the baseline, Carthage ball. And now we'll get our first look at Brad Perry, the 6'11 sophomore, usually the starter for the Redmen, but battling a little bit of a sickness. Coach Jurakovic said that he was questionable to play in this game. We might see him a little bit, and here's your answer. He's playing. Good defense by Gunter, forcing Perry into a fadeaway right away.
Yeah, Perry's good. He's a legit big man. He's very big, and he averages 10.6 rebounds a game.
Jay Spencer with a great defensive play against Derek Mason, staying vertical for the block. Now Francis, what a finish. Straight arming that one and using his body to fight off Mason.
Yeah, good job of Francis. A quick looking off, so Cruz backed up a little bit like he was going to pass it to Ricky Samuelson, but then kept the ball as far away as possible from his body and finished. And that is 7 fouls on the Thunder, and the Redmen will be in the bonus the rest of the half.
Yeah, that's foul number 2 on Jay Spencer, so he'll find himself a seat on the bench as Spencer Peterson re-enters the game. And the gym's starting to fill up a little bit more here as this game gets going. It was just about empty about 4 minutes before game time. Kayla, we thought everybody else was just on dates since it's Valentine's Day, but maybe this is the date. Maybe this is the event to be at. Everybody's taking their sweethearts to some Thunder basketball. Why not?
Hey, why not? If she goes to basketball games with you on Valentine's Day night, she's probably the one.
Almost definitely. If she wants to watch CCIW basketball on Valentine's Day, ring by spring. That's all. I'm just going to leave it there. A whistle away from the ball. That's going to go against Kennedy. He's in Francis's pocket and just got a little too physical.
I kid you not, Aston Francis was just talking to that ref about how he was getting grabbed, and the ref listened to him.
I mean, I'd listen to Aston Francis if I was a ref too. Quam looking inside to Gunter, fades away and finishes over the top of Baltimore.
Good job of Gunter after the screen of flashing to the ball. A lot of times when you set a good screen, you're the one that actually ends up getting open.
Baltimore on the left wing, guarded by Peterson, drives in and Gunter swats that one away. Baltimore recovers, throws up a floater. Rebound Cruz, ball bouncing around. Last touch will go off of Perry, and it will be Thunder ball. The Thunder up by 6. This is their largest lead of the game with 5 to play in the first half, and able to recover after a really slow start. Shooting percentage up to 42%. Gunter with all sorts of space, swings it across to Quam, spot up 3. That one back iron. Gunter had the rebound for a second, stripped away from Cruz, and that's a great second effort.
Yeah, Cruz, I mean, that's just kind of what you expect. He's always around the ball. He's making those little plays. He's a player that every coach loves to coach because you know he's going to play super hard and he's going to be in the right place.
Cruz looking inside to Baltimore. Swung across to Kennedy. Kennedy drives in, tries to dish to Perry. Francis active in the passing lane will take that one away. Francis with the slick no-look to slick Rick. And Samuelson can't finish off the play. Rebound Perry. Thomas looking for Cruz. Samuelson almost got a piece of that.
Wheaton's done a good job on Thomas so far. He only has 2 points. See if they can contain him as the shot clock winds down.
Baltimore, 3 on the shot clock. I don't think he realized it. A deep 3. And how about Jordan Thomas with a hand in his face coming up big?
Yeah, I mean, he's a legit scorer. He's not Aston Francis, who's averaging 30 points in conference play, but he is averaging 19. He's a very legitimate scorer.
Gunter working inside, and how about that? And one opportunity for Trevor Gunter over the much bigger Brad Perry. Perry just a little slow on the rotation, and that's a grown man finish from Trevor Gunter.
Good job of keeping the ball away from the defender and going through the body. Finish with the and one and a 5-point Wheaton lead.
Gunter finishes a 3-point play to put the Thunder back up 6. A pretty big lineup for the Thunder out there right now. We got Francis, Samuelson, Peterson, Quam, and Gunter. And shooters touch for Keenan Baltimore. He wanted a 4-point play there. That one rattled around, and he cuts the deficit in half.
Yeah, Baltimore with 11 points on 4 of 6 shooting. He's been showing out tonight.
Samuelson, a corner 3, can't get it to go. Rebound Thomas.
Samuelson's been a little off. It's 1 of 4 tonight. He had 27 in their first meeting in Kenosha.
Cruz driving in, finds Johnson, and Johnson pump fakes a few times, tries to go up. Good rebound by Gunter, but a sloppy pass. Stays with the Thunder, but Jordan Thomas doing a good job of camping out on that outlet.
Yeah, if you're Carthage, you got to hope your 6'10" freshman could score near the basket with a guard on him, but that's part of his development and getting stronger.
And Johnson has had some issues catching the ball down low. We've seen him bobble a few passes that are pretty much right to him, and you need a big to be able to catch that and be able to finish almost right away.
Not sure what the delay is for. Oh, I think it was a shot clock thing.
So Thunder just didn't get the reset on the shot clock there. Francis going to pull up for a 3, a couple hands in his face. And that's Francis' first 3 of the game. He started 0 for 5.
I think the more hands in his face, the better the chance he's going to go in.
You're not wrong. Cruz on the right wing, picked up his dribble, gets it to Baltimore. Baltimore driving in on Peterson. Off-balance shot, rebound Gunter.
I know Baltimore's played well and he has 11 points, but the Redmen are really just resorting to this one-on-one game. And as I'm speaking, Francis with a deep one.
30 feet out, fade away, 2 hands in his face, does not matter. Aston Francis will finish.
It's amazing how quickly he can go from 4 points to 10 points.
Ball bouncing on the rim a few times. Johnson tips it out. Peterson gathers it. Thunder up 9, minute and a half to play, looking to extend. And Francis with a great cut gets away from Kennedy. Another fadeaway 3. Make it 3 straight for Aston Francis.
He's got that face running down the court. I mean, that's ridiculous. A beautiful play call, a little misdirection play. See it on the replay maybe.
Yeah, and let's not discount how strong that cut was from Francis. He went all the way down to the baseline, planted so hard.
So the second one.
Yeah, that's the second of 3 straight threes for Francis, 2 hands in his face. And here's the last one in the corner. And if you can get another look at that, take a look at Francis' left heel. If he lets his left foot go flat there, he's out of bounds, but he somehow stays on his toes and still generates enough energy to get that shot off.
I mean, Francis had 4 points, I think, 2 minutes ago, and now he has 13. That's just Aston Francis in a nutshell. He's now 3 of 8 from 3, 13 points, 2 assists, 3 steals.
And Francis well on his way to his average of 27.5 points per game. And as you mentioned, 30 per game in conference play.
And that was Francis's 200th three-pointer in the Thunder uniform.
There you go, just a year and a half, already number 3 on the list. And considering he's got another season, I think he's pretty much a shoo-in to make 41 more between the rest of this season and into next season. And I think pretty soon we'll be seeing Aston Francis at the top of a lot of Wheaton Thunder basketball records.
He might make that tonight. Who knows? The way he's going, every possession's a 3.
Speaking of hot takes, Peters finds Francis, another fadeaway. Rebound Gunter, he goes up strong, can't finish. Ball still loose, bouncing around. Picked up by Cruz. Baltimore throws up a really weird floater, looking for a foul. But a great rebound by Cruz, pulling that down and finishing strong. About a 4-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Thunder should probably run this one down as far as they can for the half. They're up 10 after trailing by as many as 7 early on in this game. 5 on the shot clock. Peters gets it to Francis. 2 seconds, a really deep 3. That one short. 1 second, Thomas at the buzzer. No good. So after 20 minutes, your score, the Wheaton Thunder 40, the Carthage Redmen 30. Aston Francis leads all scorers with 13 points, including that 3 straight three-pointer run. It's Keenan Baltimore for the Redmen with 11 points in the first half on 4-10 shooting. We're going to take a break for halftime, but stick with us here on the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network.
We believe in one sovereign God, eternally existing in 3 persons, the everlasting Father, His only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord, and the Holy Spirit, the giver of life.
And we believe that God created the heavens and the earth out of nothing by His spoken word and for His own glory.
We believe that God has revealed Himself and His truth in the created order, in the Scriptures, and supremely in Jesus Christ.
We believe that the Scriptures of the Old and New Testaments are verbally inspired by God and inerrant in the original writing, so that they are fully trustworthy and of supreme and final authority in all they say.
We believe that Jesus Christ was conceived by the Holy Spirit, born of the Virgin Mary, was true God and true man, existing in one person and without sin.
We believe in the resurrection of the crucified body of our Lord, His ascension into heaven, and His present life there for us as Lord, High Priest, and Advocate.
We believe that God directly created Adam and Eve, the historical parents of the entire human race. And they were created in His own image, distinct from all other living creatures, and in a state of original righteousness.
We believe that our first parents sinned by rebelling against God's revealed will, and thereby incurred physical and spiritual death. And as a result, all human beings are born with a sinful nature that leads them to sin in word, thought, and deed.
We believe in the existence of Satan, sin, and evil powers, and that these have been defeated by God in the cross of Christ.
We believe that the Lord Jesus Christ died for our sins, according to the Scriptures, as a representative and substitutionary sacrifice, triumphing over all evil, and that all who believe in him are justified by his shed blood and forgiven of all their sins.
We believe that all who receive the Lord Jesus Christ by faith are born again of the Holy Spirit, and thereby become children of God, and are enabled to offer spiritual worship acceptable to God.
We believe that the Holy Spirit indwells and gives life to believers, enables them to understand the Scriptures, empowers them for godly living, and equips them for service and witness.
We believe that the one holy universal church is the body of Christ and is composed of Christ's people.
The task of Christ's people in this world is to be God's redeemed people, embodying his love by worshiping God with confession, prayer, and praise, by proclaiming the gospel of God's redemptive love through our Lord Jesus Christ to the ends of the earth by word and deed, by caring for all God's creation, by actively seeking the good of everyone, especially the poor and the needy.
We believe in the blessed hope that Jesus Christ will soon return to this earth, personally, visibly, and unexpectedly, in power and great glory, to gather his elect, to raise the dead, to judge the nations, and to bring his kingdom to fulfillment.
We believe in the bodily resurrection of the just and the unjust, the everlasting punishment of the lost, and the everlasting blessedness of the saved.
And the sun was shining as well as it could on the shadowy river, a good part of the shine being caught in the trees. Since about this time last year, painting the Fox River, starting up in West Dundee in the north, we're going to cover all the way down to Ottawa. I hope that it happens at least with one painting I make out of these 60 that, you know, when you look at it, it just leads you. It's heuristic. You know, it wants you to go. It wants you to encounter. I mean, I sometimes think of it as kind of homesickness, you know, where you feel like your identity is out there somewhere else. You're here, but you have this pull, you know, to be somewhere, and it's an ache. In fact, in Gilead, you know, John Ames at some point talks about this town, Gilead, and he says, you know, this town has been wearied a little and then wearied a little more, and yet he says hope is still there. And I mean, that is the thing. Hope isn't the accomplishment. This whole idea of, you know, when is hope important? It's important when it's dark, you know, when you can't see. That's when it manifests itself as a possibility. So these paintings aren't about a sort of glorious resolution, but I hope they are something that makes one feel a glimmer of hope for possibilities.
Hi, I'm Nate Brown. College will be one of the most transformational experiences in your life. My education in the context of a Christian community helps shape the way I live and engage the world around me. I love that Wheaton relates Christian liberal arts to the needs of contemporary society. The classes are designed to combine faith and learning, giving you a biblical perspective that's accessible and applicable. Wheaton students are challenged to answer questions like, what does it mean to live as a Christian doctor, engineer, or business professional? Being in an environment with other students and faculty who are passionate about their faith and serious about their education will help you to know who you are in Christ and prepare you to go wherever He leads you. I look forward to helping you find your way to Wheaton. Talk to you soon.
Like when I close my eyes and don't even care if anyone sees me dancing. Like I can fly and I don't even think of touching the ground. Like a heartbeat skip, like an open page, like a one-way trip on an aeroplane. It's the way that I feel when I'm with you. Brand new. Like when I close my eyes and don't even care if anyone sees me dancing. Like I can fly and I don't even think of touching the ground. Like a heartbeat skip, like an open page, like a one-way trip on an aeroplane. It's the way that I feel when I'm with you. Brand new. I feel
Welcome back inside the King Arena. Once again, I'm Nate Stein alongside Caleb Springer. You're watching the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network. The first half was really a tale of two halves. Through the first 9 minutes, Carthage dominated and the Thunder could not get anything going on the offensive end. But at about the 11-minute mark, the Thunder started hitting some shots. It really turned things around, and now they lead by 10 going into the second half.
Yeah, it started off with these, as you see on the replay, a couple steals led to some dunks. It gave the team some momentum. And then Aston Francis just started going off. He had 3 threes on 3 consecutive possessions. And just in Francis style, fading away from very deep. He has 13 points in the first half. Another stat, Brad Cruz has 9 rebounds in the first half, so a nice performance there from the 6'4" senior on the Redmen.
You continue to see the replays of this Thunder run. I want to point out, I want to say it'll be this next 3 that we'll see from Aston Francis. Take a look at his left foot. If he puts that heel down, that's a turnover. That is a 4-point swing, really, when you think about it. Actually, no, a 6-point swing. Pardon my math. But instead of getting 3, they would have gotten nothing. It would have been Carthage ball, a momentum killer. That's huge for the Thunder, and it's just those little games of inches where the Thunder are now in the lead of this game.
Also, a thing to keep in mind, Jordan Thomas only has 5 points. He averages 19. Number 4 for Carthage is a prolific scorer, but Wheaton, Luke Peters, and Zach Klum have done a good job of holding him in check.
Samuelson trying to get the Thunder rolling to start the second half, and he does. Thunder up 13, their largest lead of the night.
That was a beautiful play. Ricky Samuelson sets a nice screen, pops out for a 3, and he does what he does best, knock it down.
And Aston Francis, once again with his hands in the passing lane, leads to a Redmen turnover, and a Thunder working in transition. Francis spins off Mason, throws a bit of a duck to Eichelberger. A sloppy offensive possession somehow ends up in 2 points.
At the end of the day, if you get the ball and you throw it in the hoop, it counts. It doesn't matter how you get there.
It's a simple game. Mason swings it to Thomas. Thomas drives baseline, kicks it to the corner. And Cruz out of bounds as the ref wears one off the top of his head.
Yeah.
And another turnover with Thunder ball.
That was just a great example of Luke Peters. Although he doesn't score a ton, he did score a lot at Iowa. He actually had 17 points. But, I mean, he plays great defense on the opposing player, best player, night in and night out.
Samuelson couldn't stay hot. And now Cruz off to the races, goes right at Aston Francis. And how about that? The nation's 3rd leading scorer, not too good to take a charge.
Yeah, and Coach Schauer loved that. He gave one of his Padman fist bumps. You couldn't see it on the screen. But it's always a great culture thing when your best player, your most prolific scorer, is taking charges, throwing his body on the line.
Peters guarded by Thomas. Drives into the lane, and Sean Johnson with the length to recover.
And that's his 4th block of the night. Sean Johnson coming into this game the leading shot blocker in the country, even in limited minutes as a backup. I mean, he has long arms.
As we mentioned early on in the broadcast, he's 6'10" on the roster, and he is all of 6'10", easily with a 7-foot-plus wingspan. There will be Thunder ball on the side out of bounds. They got 12 seconds on the shot clock to make something happen. Up by 15. Francis catch and shoot 3, blocked at the origin. Good recovery by Derek Mason. He goes up, and Aston Francis off the backboard.
Oh my goodness.
And Derek Mason a little slow to get up. We'll get another look at this. How about that? Aston Francis rises up, and a little something extra looking at Mason on the ground after that block.
Aston Francis. Wow. What a pin down block from the guard.
That is a guard on guard crime right there. Cruz inbound to Thomas. Kicks it out to Mason. Mason throws up a floater in the lane. Eichelberger rises way up to get that one. Samuelson in the corner, up top for Eichelberger. Now Spencer hands off to Francis, wide open look. Best look he's gotten all night, and Francis makes the best of it.
Derek Mason is just has his hands in the air like, I mean, I lost him, but man, this guy's tough to guard.
Baltimore trying to work Jay Spencer down into the lane, and he does.
Even though they're playing this just heavily like Aston Francis focused defense, Francis still has 16 points.
And that Keenan Baltimore layup ended an 8-0 run for the Thunder to start the second half. We got a whistle away from the ball on the floor, and that's just an extra effort from Luke Peters forcing a foul. Peters flew in for that rebound, and it was all Jordan Thomas could do to keep Peters from getting an easy putback was foul him.
It's just so strange to see Ricky miss those.
Yeah, wide open three. Yeah, you see Thomas pulling down the left arm of Peters. Just awesome effort to draw that foul. Eichelberger throws that one away. Cruz in the passing lane. Now he rises up and he finishes through some contact. The Redmen trying to get some momentum back here.
Yeah, he's 2 points away from a double-double early on in the second half. He has 8 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists. I mean, he's Mr. Do-Everything, filled with stat sheet guy, and he's more than just like a glue guy. That wouldn't be a great term, but he does glue guy things while also putting up big numbers.
Yeah, Cruz is, you said this early on in the broadcast, Caleb, but Cruz is the player that everybody likes to coach. Every coach in the nation would love to have a Brad Cruz on their side. He's a guy who is threatening for a triple-double here tonight, as you mentioned, and does the things that a role player would do, but he's also has star potential. Baltimore goes to the line to shoot a pair, knocks down the first. Spencer Peterson back into the game for the Thunder. And Baltimore goes 2 of 2. We'll see Brad Perry come back in, playing spot minutes off the bench. The freshman Sean Johnson will get a bit of a breather. Peters gets it to Francis. Francis nifty behind the back to Jay Spencer. Spencer can't finish. But Spencer Peterson will draw the foul on Keenan Baltimore.
Let's see on the replay here. Yeah, he did pull down his arm.
Yeah, Baltimore reaching right across the front, right in front of the ref. That's an easy call. Spencer gets it to Peters. Back to Spencer on the right wing. Now Peterson. And another steal from Brad Cruz, and he will rise up and flush it with 2 hands.
I mean, that's his second pick six of the evening. All of a sudden, he has a double-double. 10 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals. He wants to win this game.
And Aston Francis with a hand in his face.
He also wants to win this game.
Great defense from Derek Mason. That's perfect position. He got a hand in Francis' face, just better offense. And offensive foul away from the ball. That one's going to go either against Keenan Baltimore or Jordan Thomas. I saw the 4. I couldn't see whether there was a 2 in front. Oh, it's going to be Brad Perry, 5-4. A lot of 4s out on the floor right now. That's Perry's second. So Johnson could be forced prematurely back into action. Peters gets it to Francis. Thought about a deep 3. Instead, swings it out. Peterson for 3. That one off the back iron. Rebound, Spencer. He shorts the floater. And how about Luke Peters diving for that ball and throwing it off Brad Perry's knee?
Yeah, Peters, I mean, man, he only has 3 points, but he has 4 rebounds and 5 assists. He impacts the game in so many ways.
Samuelson on a catch and shoot off the out-of-bounds play. And there's going to be a foul against Spencer Peterson. Little grab on the arm of Keenan Baltimore.
I feel like Peterson in every single play is involved in a foul. Either he's getting fouled or he's fouling.
And honestly, it feels like Baltimore is the same way for the Redmen. That's a very physical matchup on both ends of the floor. 51-38 your score, just inside 15 and a half to play in regulation. Baltimore all alone down low. Jay Spencer rises up and throws that one straight down, and now Spencer picks up a technical. So Keenan Baltimore will go to the line to shoot a pair from the shooting foul. Well, first he'll get the technical free throw. I'm not sure what Jay Spencer did or said. It looked like he turned and faced away from the court, so that's a little confusing for me.
Yeah, and I think that's Spencer's fourth foul as well, because he got the personal foul, which is his third foul, now a technical.
Yeah, so Jay Spencer might have to take a seat on the bench for a good 10 minutes plus. And first technical free throw, no good from Jordan Thomas. Yeah, he's able to convert on the second.
And also, you give a guy like Jordan Thomas, who's struggled, a chance to see the ball go through the net, you know, with a free throw. And you don't want him to start getting hot. So that was, I don't know what Jay Spencer did, but...
Yeah, Jay's definitely been a little frustrated with some calls, but I don't feel like he has said anything or shown up the referees in any way, at least from what I've seen. Obviously, we could be missing something. There could have been something that Jay said before he turned away, but it just seems out of the blue almost. So the Redmen go 2 of 4 from the line between Baltimore and Thomas. And what could have been a 4-point possession from them, they'll get away with only 2. Francis, a deep 3, long rebound to Peterson. Francis trying to fight through a couple screens. Peterson picked up his dribble, looking for somewhere to go. It's Gunter. Now Francis up top. Francis gets his pocket picked by Derek Mason, and Mason tried to get out in transition but forced to slow up, almost lost the handle. Cruz now driving into the lane, gets it to Perry, and Perry will flush the wide open look.
Yeah, you got to be careful here if you're Wheaton. The momentum has shifted here after that technical foul. The Thunder needs a good possession here.
Yeah, luckily for the Thunder, they still do have a 9-point lead with possession right now, but they need to get something going as Francis drives in and finishes the floater. Coach Shower is going to take a quick timeout, and I think he might be asking for an explanation about the technical on Jay Spencer, because even Coach Shower seemed pretty confused, and he didn't really make a point of reprimanding Jay once he went back to the bench.
Yeah, who knows? But at the end of the day, Wheaton leads 53-42 here. And Aston Francis has 21 points on 8 of 17 shooting, 14 threes. And the 3 twos were all fast break layups. So in the half court, I think, besides that floater there at the end, it's in all 3-pointers for Francis.
Which has pretty much become the norm. We've gotten used to that. I think last year in Francis' first season in King Arena, we would have been so surprised to see him taking that many threes. But with the game, the way the game of basketball as a whole at every level is going, looking at more of a spread out game, looking at more advanced metrics, and the fact that a shot from deep is worth 50% more than anything else on the floor, it's just pretty much the norm at this point. Aston Francis is going to take between 15 and 20 threes pretty much every night.
Yeah, Wheaton has attempted 32 threes tonight already. I mean, it's 20 years ago.
That's unheard of 20 years ago. Oh, my God.
The game is just completely different. And, I mean, it shows on the scoring, though, because it's one of the best scoring teams statistically in the country. So it's not like it's not working.
And there's number 15 from Aston Francis and make number 6. And Francis now with 24 on the night.
For one player to attempt 15 threes, and it's not like anyone's mad at him, it's kind of crazy.
Baltimore thought that he had the last touch on that. In fact, started running down the floor. But a little bit of help there It will stay Redmen ball. Keenan Baltimore very upset with himself. You can see the body language. He just doesn't feel great. Thomas up top for the Redmen. Good hedge by Gunter. Thomas trying to work into the lane. Good defense by Quam, but a little too much contact. And Jordan Thomas will go to the line and shoot 2 free throws.
Pretty good D by Quam, but at the end of the day, yeah, Jordan Thomas just kind of leans into him and gets a foul.
Quam had his right hand up, good verticality there, but just a little bit too much with the body and the left hand lower down. As Thomas struggling from the free throw line tonight. It was only his second trip, but made just 1 out of 3 attempts.
Yeah, Jordan Thomas just has 6 field goal attempts on the night. Coming into this game, averaging 19 points, one of the best scorers in the conference. He's been kind of non-existent.
Although we say that, and he does have 9 points. So Thomas flirting with double digits. Coach Schauer upset that ball wasn't called out of bounds. Now Thomas rising up, and he'll go to the free throw line once again. So the momentum definitely swinging back towards the Redmen side. First one from Thomas. Back iron.
Wow.
And this is just weird. We came into this game expecting Jordan Thomas and Derek Mason to be the focal point of this Redmen offense. We kept harping on how, yes, these guards are undersized, but they can still pour it in. And instead, we're seeing pretty much what anybody else just looking at measurables would expect, which is 6'4" and 6'5" Keenan Baltimore and Brad Cruz pouring it in with 16 and 10 points, respectively.
Jordan Thomas is 20th in the country in free throw shooting percentage. He's 89% of the season, and he cannot hit a free throw tonight.
Yeah, just 50% on the night, 3 of 6, missing his first every time he's gone to the line.
It's kind of strange. The new tier teammates both are shooting below what they normally do. Ricky Samuelson has missed some wide open threes that we never see him miss tonight, and Jordan Thomas, his high school teammate, is also not performing as he normally does.
Eichelberger, wide open look at 3 straight away, gets his own rebound, rises up against Brad Perry, and Perry trying to emphatically block that one, instead gets all on, and Eichelberger will go to the line.
Good job of Eichelberger following his shot. It's kind of a lost art. Most guys start jogging back on defense after they shoot the ball, but Eichelberger follows a shot and attacks the basket and goes to the line.
Eichelberger gets a touch on the first one. And the second will just rim out. Rebound pulled down by Baltimore. Baltimore looking for Perry inside. Big size advantage over Eichelberger, but great job by Eichelberger holding his ground and forcing Perry to fade away. Samuelson driving through the lane, blocked by Perry. Francis somehow comes out of the scrum with it. Now driving baseline, kicks it out. Loose ball picked up by Baltimore, and
a technical foul on Aston Francis. He was talking to the ref running down the court.
And Coach Schauer seems really confused about this one. Francis, incredibly calm, but this is just super uncharacteristic for the Thunder. 2 technical fouls in the same game. I don't think they've had one all season up until now, have they?
I think they've had a couple, but I mean, it's not like this has been kind of the character of this team to get technical fouls. But 2 technical fouls, giving Carthage every opportunity to get back into this game. 9-point game now, and Carthage ball. Wheaton led as many as 18 at one point. They led 48-30.
Yeah, that was a part of that 8-point run to start the second half after going up by 10 at the end of the first. But as we mentioned, the pendulum of momentum just swinging back towards Carthage. Mason drives baseline, and he's going to get called for a walk. One step too many before kicking it out to Baltimore. And Coach Showers still having a conversation with the referee down on the far baseline. I think trying to figure out what it was that Aston and Jay had said in the same way that we are over here, except we can't talk to the refs. Eichelberger in the corner, drives through, kicks it out. Francis thought about a deep three. Instead, floater in the lane, swatted away by Cruz. Now Thomas in transition.
Cruz continues to do it all. But another turnover from Carthage.
Yeah, this time on a carry.
Seems like every time Carthage looks like they can make a run, they turn the ball over or do something else to keep them at around a 10-point deficit. I mean, Brad Cruz is just, his stat line's pretty crazy. 10 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 6 steals, and a block now for Mr. Do Everything, Brad Cruz.
Man, Cruz could easily get a triple-double tonight if he continues the way he's playing. Baltimore fighting for that rebound, swings it to Cruz.
Sometimes you're so wide open that you kind of get thrown off, and Eichelberger has some wide open threes, and he's not really shooting it, he's kind of thinking about it a little too much.
Peters pushing the pace, gets to Peterson, and a wide open look from the big man as he knocks it down.
Peterson with a nice shooting night. That's his second three. As you said, 8 points.
Cruz directing traffic from the top of the key. Inside to Perry. Great defense from Eichelberger, denying Perry and knocking that ball away. So we're going to see the Red Men go big here with both Perry and Johnson in the game. Does not look like Coach Shower is going to try to counter. So who's going to match up with the other big on the defensive end of the court? I guess it'll be Eichelberger.
But also, Carthage has to match up with us. And right now it's Shaw Johnson on Kobe Eichelberger, which is not a good matchup for Carthage.
And Peterson, both those players really able to stretch the floor. Spencer Peterson's been shooting well from deep. Weezer gets it to Cruz. Cruz working on Quam, backs him down, bodies through, can't finish in the lane, loose ball. Eichelberger gets it stripped, still loose. Now Thomas. Perry inside, and that's going to be a push against Spencer Peterson.
I guess, yeah, push. Let's see. Yeah, it's kind of a weak
It's a little
push.
bit. That's not a great angle. I saw it pretty much straight down from where I'm sitting. I think that was the right call.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how hard you push them, if you have like two hands to the back,
and there's any extension at all,
any extension, the ref will call it. Yeah, you just gotta trust that you can stay straight up. Peterson is a player that can stay straight up with a big guy like Perry. You just gotta trust that.
Perry can't connect on the second. So he goes 1 of 2, and then a loose ball foul will put both these teams in the bonus. So this could be a long 10 minutes and change to finish up this game. That was Sean Johnson's second foul of the night, sending Eichelberger to the line. And Eichelberger knocks down the first.
Eichelberger is in double-double range as well. He has 9 rebounds and 9 points.
Cruz trying to go coast to coast and does, finishing with the soft touch over the top of Peterson. Redmen staying right around 9-10 points down. Right now the difference is 11 as Peter swings it to Eichelberger, wide open look, and once again just a little short. And a whistle on the rebound. That's Spencer Peterson once again.
Yeah, I like the aggressiveness on the rebounds, but you can't be given, free throws to a team that's trying to come back. That's one of the best ways to come back is to score points when the clock isn't running. Jordan Thomas has struggled. He's 3 of 6 from the free throw line, but on the season he's one of the best free throw shooters in the entire country. So he's certainly not a guy you normally want to put on the line.
Foul number 4 against Spencer Peterson as Jordan Thomas continues this baffling cold streak.
Sometimes it's just the hoop looks smaller. I mean, every basketball player has experienced a game like this where you just kind of look at the hoop and it just seems like there's no way the ball fits through that thing. Jordan Thomas, he does have 11 points, but this has not been a typical Jordan Thomas game.
Yeah, he's not being super efficient, but he is doing just enough to stay pretty close to his season pace of points. He could still get there, and obviously we know he's capable of heating up at any time. It's just something that we were not expecting. Eichelberger driving in, battles through a few bodies and finishes off the glass, put the Thunder back up 12. Cruz looking around, gets it to Leeser. Leeser pulls up for 3. Long rebound pulled down by Peters. Quam running ahead in transition, spins around. Great lefty finish from Zach Quam. Completely caught Derek Mason off guard with that lefty floater.
Yeah, nice catch, nice spin, and a lefty from Quam.
Cruz dribble handoff to Leeser, right back to Cruz. Inside to Perry. Perry battling against Gunter, and that's what Carthage, I think, has to do. They have to let Brad Perry go to work down low. Francis gets it, runs off a couple screens, almost loses control, spins, and hits.
Wow. Wow. And Brad Cruz has done an amazing job. He didn't start off the game on Francis. As you see on the replay here, beautiful move by Quam. But he has done a good job the last probably 5 minutes of guarding Francis. But I mean, one of the best defenders in the world. I mean, you can't really defend certain shots, and that's one of them. Like a spin fadeaway. I mean, there's only so much you can do. At the end of the day, if a man's making that, he's making that.
Yeah, and it's even more ridiculous when you realize that Aston almost lost control of that ball as he went into the spin. He fumbled it a little bit, somehow got his hands back set and was able to square up. He's just good.
Yeah.
Aston Francis is good at basketball, for those of you who didn't know. But I imagine if you're watching this broadcast, you probably know that. Baltimore working on Gunter. Swings it through to Leeser. Leeser looking inside for Perry. Good job by Eichelberger poking it away. Quam trying to push the pace, but instead he slows it up. Francis, mid-range jumper. Short arms it, gets his own rebound. Quam touches it down low to Gunter.
Foul on Perry.
Yep, that's Brad Perry. Once again, that's his 4th. So all the bigs in this game getting into foul trouble. Spencer Peterson, Brad Perry, all with 4.
There are not many times when your 6'10" player is not on the block, and that's what they have going on here. He went early.
Yeah, Perry went very early. That was even early by NBA standards. I mean, they don't really care what you do. So Gunter gets another opportunity at the front end of this 1-on-1. He makes the most of it.
Just quick, other CCIW scores. All the top teams in the conference are winning. North Central is up 59-42 on Carroll. IWU's up 59-41 on Milliken, and Elmhurst is up 62-47 on North Park.
And that's pretty much what we expected around the conference. Augustana, of course, with an odd number of CCIW teams after Carroll joined, has the night off, so they're getting a little bit of rest, most likely paying attention to what the rest of the teams in tournament position are doing, as Eichelberger can't get that to go halfway down and somehow finds a way to rim out.
Eichelberger struggled from 3 as well. I think he's 1 of 8 now from 3, and all of them have really been wide open. Just can't quite find the range.
Keenan Baltimore drawing the foul. That's going to go against Luke Peters. A lot of contact throughout there, and basically every time the offensive player is going to get the benefit of the doubt.
Baltimore's 5 of 6 from the free throw line. He has 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 of 11 shooting.
So now a conference with the refs. Coach Showers asking some questions. I really wish we could have Shower mic'd up for one of these games. I feel like it would give a lot of insight. I constantly find myself questioning what he's asking about. Like in this situation, it seemed like a foul, but there's obviously some conversation happening with both teams gathered separately. Oh, this looks like it might be an issue of something around the court. We saw one of the referees talking to Wheaton's associate athletic director, Bill Stukes. Maybe something with the carpets around the edge of the court? But I don't see how that could affect gameplay, considering they're a good 3-4 feet away from the end of the baseline.
Yeah, I have no idea. They are looking at the carpet down on the baseline. I really don't know what's going on. But I guess now they're going to play. Nothing really changed, but they gave Baltimore the ball, and here we go. Oh, they're switching.
A ball issue?
They're switching the ball. I am very confused over what just happened, but they switched the ball out, and now they're playing with a new ball.
Hopefully we'll get filled in soon. Apparently that's not a new ball, that's the original ball. The original ball went under the stands somehow, and then they used the new ball, then they went back to the first ball. So that was pretty arbitrary, if you ask me. And Brad Perry somehow finishing through the blocks of both Gunter and Eichelberger. I'm pretty sure they both got a hand on that, and Perry still was able to power through. That's an impressive move from the big fella.
Yeah, I have no idea how that went in. Trevor Gunter had a big palm on that ball, and somehow it found its way into the basket.
And now Gunter on the other end can't finish over Perry. And the Redmen can pull into single digits at the basket on this possession. Mason pump fakes, leaves it for Perry. Perry, mid-range jumper, no good. Johnson can't pull it down. Eichelberger does and gets it out to Peters. Peters driving into the lane. Now Gunter fades away. Perry affects the shot and pulls down the rebound.
Yeah, that's a little quick. I think right there, if you're Gunter, you just pass it out, run some more clock, and get a good shot. Right now, you have an 11-point lead with 5 minutes, 30 seconds left. You don't want to let up, but you can really wait to get a good shot.
And that foul is going to go against Samuelson. Gets tangled up with Johnson on the loose ball. And with the ball skied up like that, the 6'10 guy is going to beat the 6'3 guy every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Johnson knocks down the front end of the 1-and-1, earns himself a second. Well, Johnson with an opportunity to bring the Redmen back to single digits, and he does. Jay Spencer back into the game, playing with 4 fouls. Same with Spencer Peterson.
This game is right on the edge of being either really close or over. So this next stretch, this next couple minutes is crucial. And if you're Carthage, that is not what you want to see.
Yeah, you cannot let Aston Francis get a clean look like that at the rim. He's going to finish that just about every time.
It's a good play design to isolate Francis, but if you're the Redmen, you have to realize, you have to know, you have to be able to see the ball and your man, and everyone was stuck staring at their man, allowing Francis a wide open layup.
And good defense from Francis, forcing Mason into a tough shot and then tracking down the rebound. Handoff to Peters. He's going to take his time setting things up here, as he should. Francis, step back 3. Instead, kicks it to Spencer. Long rebound. And good job by Brad Cruz, just popping that one up to Keenan Baltimore. And how about Aston Francis making it tough on Baltimore? No easy buckets, but he does get hit with the foul.
Yeah, Baltimore is a little lazy here. He could have gone up really fast and scored, but he allows Francis to come back. A good foul. Baltimore's a good free throw shooter, but you still force him to make both at the line.
Yeah, I don't like that from Baltimore. You got to, especially when you're trailing by 11 in a game where you could cut it even closer, you got to have a little bit of urgency there.
Yeah, I bet he can dunk. Just go up there and flush it or something.
Yeah, get your team some momentum. That's on their bench side. Why not? So back to a 9-point game as Peters brings the ball up. Samuelson up top for Spencer. Jay Spencer drives in, loses the handle. Baltimore ends up with it.
And they're just still teetering on being a game, just a 9-point lead. This game is not over.
Oh, nowhere near. This is a huge possession for the Redmen. Justin Thomas pulls up for a deep 3.
And
that's not the shot that the Redmen were looking for.
Pretty wild shot. I know he's your leading scorer, but for someone who's not feeling it, I don't know if that's the possession you want.
Francis looking back door for Samuelson. Pocket picked.
That's Brad Cruz's 7th steal of the game. He has 7 steals.
There's a reason he's leading the CCIW in steals.
That man's stat line is impressive.
Yeah, 12, 12, 7, and 5. And a block. That's a pretty good night. Francis working on Mason, and Mason not quick enough to stay in front of Francis, so he'll draw a foul.
Mason has had a tough game, to say the least. He's 0 of 11 from the field offensively, and he's had to chase around Aston Francis all night, and Francis has 28 points. So not the most fun night for Mason here at King Arena.
Well, Francis at the line for a 1-and-1. And how about this? This is Aston Francis' first trip to the free throw line tonight.
He's primarily had wide open layups and threes, so it kind of makes sense.
And Francis goes 2 of 2. He gets the Thunder back up by 11. The Thunder, who were ice cold in the first 9 minutes of this game, have now held the lead the entirety of the second half, and ever since the 11:59 mark of the first half. But this one still far from over as Cruz pulls up for a deep 3 and knocks it down.
Here we are, 8-point lead. It hasn't been under 9 for a while. But as we're saying, I mean, this is a game where Wheaton should win, but you cannot let up. You got to finish through. Cruz continues to just amaze us with a stat line. 15 points, 12 rebounds, 7 steals. Aston Francis with 30 ball. He has 30 points on 6 threes. Kobe Eichelberger has a double-double as well, 12 points, 11 rebounds. Even though he hasn't shot well from 3, he's still contributing and getting a double-double.
Yeah, and one thing you can say about Eichelberger, even when his 3 isn't falling, he's still going to shoot. He knows he can make that shot, but he doesn't let it affect the rest of his game. He's still been doing a great job of getting the line, has drawn a bunch of fouls, 5 for 6 from the free throw line, still making his layups. The kid just has good confidence, and he's very level-headed.
Yeah, kind of an interesting thing. Wheaton has 15 more shot attempts than Carthage, which explains how they can only shoot 38% and still have 73 points and an 8-point lead.
And Francis can't get the gimme to go. Rebound Leeser.
It's too easy. Too easy of a shot.
Cruz with it, working on Samuelson. Swings it to Baltimore. Baltimore in the lane, up and under. Nice finish, and he will get a chance for a 3-point play. That foul's going to go against Aston Francis.
Before you know it, it's a 6-point, could be 5-point lead for Wheaton. They led as many as 18 at the beginning of this half. And they've come, and the Redmen have come all the way back. And as we've been saying, this game is not over.
You can't get complacent, as Keenan Baltimore can't convert the 3-point play, but he still paces the Redmen with 22 points. And that's going to be a foul against Leeser.
It's honestly not a bad foul if you think about it.
Yeah, Luke Peters not the best free throw shooter for the Thunder. He struggled from the line often this season. Obviously, it's not exactly what you want. You want to steal there if you're the Redmen, but if you have to send somebody to the line, I think Coach Jurikovic wants it to be Luke Peters.
And it is double bonus, and Peters, I really hope Peters proves everyone wrong and makes both of these.
I want to eat my words right now.
Yes, I would love to eat my words.
And Peters goes 1 of 2.
We tied.
Yeah, that's fine. A 7-point game with 2 to play. Baltimore driving in, and that's a hook, offensive foul. Keenan Baltimore is incredulous at that one.
That's the right call. He totally hooked him. Maybe we'll see the replay.
You'll see it here. Watch the left arm of Baltimore. 100%, he actually does the motion that the refs signal a hook on. I don't think you can really argue with that. Samuelson looking for somewhere to go, gets it to Francis. Francis going to get double teamed, running away from Leeser, and he'll get a timeout. 1:51 to play. And how about Brad Cruz? As soon as that timeout was called, didn't go over to the bench, just waited, greeted all of his teammates, said some words of encouragement. This young man has impressed me all night with both his play on the court and just all the intangibles.
Yeah, I mean, he's, as we said, he's legit because he has 15 points and 13 rebounds. He's no role player. He's one of the guys on this team, but he does glue guy type things.
Yeah, you said that earlier, and I actually really like that. He's a glue guy, but he's so much more than a glue guy. He's a rare talent. I think that's the best way to put it. It's not often that you find a guy who can do both. Peters taking his time, guarded by Leeser. 10 on the shot clock, will get it to Francis. Francis looking for somewhere to go. He's got 5 seconds, and he turns it over. Keenan Baltimore out in transition and throws it away. But Derek Mason does a great job of tracking that ball and saving it for the Redmen. Baltimore just tried to do a little too much and get fancy with it. And now Mason, contested 3, tipped out. Francis, and he'll slow things up, draw the foul. And I think the Redmen might try to start turning this one into a free throw contest.
Yeah, and that's not the guy you want to have a free throw contest with. Aston Francis, very good free throw shooter. And at the end of the games, you kind of want to foul someone who hasn't been involved in a lot of scoring, who hasn't really seen the ball go through the hoop a lot.
Yeah, don't foul the guy with 30.
Even an average free throw shooter, when you have 30 points, like, you're probably going to make your free throws.
And Francis goes 2 of 2, 32 points on the night for him now as the Thunder back on top by 9. And how about Brad Cruz right back, a quick bucket, exactly what the Redmen needed.
They should have fouled there.
Yeah, I think Leisure was trying to, just a little slow. Instead, Francis going to dribble through traffic and force them to foul him. Instead, Leisure pokes it away. Now in transition, pulls the Redmen within 5. Francis gets it ahead to Eichelberger, and Baltimore fouls Eichelberger right away. And Baltimore shaking his head as if he thought that wasn't a foul. It's interesting.
Yeah, I know Francis really wants the ball. He wants to be the one to go to the free throw line, but there, he was literally dribbling between like the entire Carthage team. I think if you just look up and pass the ball and trust your teammates to make free throws, like what happened right there with here. Kobe.
And he also, right when the ball was inbounded to Aston after the Leisure layup, the entire Redmen defense avoided Francis like he was the plague. They did not go near him, didn't even want to accidentally send him to the line, but Eichelberger making them pay. Thunder back on top by 7. Cruz gets it to Baltimore. Baltimore pump fakes a 3, drives in, can't finish through the contact from Spencer. Peters gets the rebound, almost throws it away. Spencer pulls it down, and now he will go to the line to shoot a pair.
Yeah, and I mean, just quick thing on Francis. I mean, he has 32 points, and honestly, we probably should be going crazy over that, but that's just so normal that it's kind of just another day in the office kind of thing. I mean, he has 32 points, and he averages 30 in every conference game.
Which is why we're not really talking about it. We're talking so much about Cruz, who's filling up the stat sheet, doing a bunch of different things. So, Aston Francis, it's almost what we've come to expect. It's an embarrassment of riches on the offensive end for this young man.
If he scores like 20, you're like, oh, what happened? What went wrong?
And if he scores less than 20, oh my goodness, what happened to him? Thomas dribbling through traffic, goes in, finishes off the glass. So the Redmen doing just enough to keep it close, and this is actually pretty similar to the game up in Kenosha a couple weeks ago where the Thunder, I want to say, ended up winning by 8 or 9, but it was this awkward in-between feeling for the last 2 to 3 minutes where the Redmen are right there. If they can just get a stop and hit a 3, this is an entirely different game. A quick steal would do it. They just need one defensive play, and the Redmen have completely flipped the script.
Yeah, this whole game, it's kind of felt like it's just teetered around 10-point lead for the Thunder, and it's always like you think Carthage will make a run, but it just never really developed. You know, whenever they got a little momentum, Wheaton would hit a shot, or they would have a turnover, or Carthage would throw the ball away. Yeah, both teams really want to win this game, but it looks like just Carthage so far just not gotten past over the hill, per se, and come back.
Now Peters trying to get into Francis, and last touch will be off of Mason, so it'll stay Thunder ball. Baltimore going to try to get in Peters' face and keep him from inbounding it. And some sort of clock issue as suddenly there's 0 seconds left in this game, which just isn't true. Reset back to 32 seconds now. And take 3 for Peters trying to get this one in. He does, gets it to Francis. And Francis trying to force the Redmen to foul him. And somehow they didn't call that foul when Peters still had the ball.
And Carthage really thinks they fouled Peters.
I thought they did too, being completely honest. It looked like they got there in time. But Peters gets away with one, able to get rid of it and send Eichelberger to the line, who's been money from the charity stripe, 7 of 8 tonight.
It's tough for a ref because you know you can't call the foul before it happens, but you know the other team's trying to foul. So it's hard sometimes because people get mad at you if you call it before the foul happens, but they also get mad at you if you don't call a foul when they're trying to. So it's kind of a difficult thing to be a ref.
Eichelberger going 1 of 2 thanks to the broadcaster's curse. Now Leeser, step back 3. That one short. Rebound Redmen. That was Mason. He gets fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot a pair with 13.7 on the clock. That's fouls on Samuelson, his 3rd, but shouldn't make much of a difference. I think this is going to be just too little too late. As we mentioned, the Redmen just so close to going on that run that could split this game and just unable to do so.
In a game where Wheaton only shoots 26% from the three-point line, when that's such a huge part of their offense, to score 81 points and come out of here with a win, barring some kind of miracle in the last 13 seconds here.
Knock on wood.
That just shows that this team is more than, it's not a fluke. This team's for real. They've beaten 3 top 25 teams on the road this year. And they can go into any building and they can play against any team in this whole country and win if they pull everything together. Because imagine if they were hitting their threes this game, how many points they would have.
Yeah, even if on the season the Thunder have been shooting 38.6 from deep. They've taken 41 threes tonight. If we put that to their season average, that's another 5 threes. That's another 15 points. As Eichelberger knocks down his free throws. Cruz trying to do something against Peters, goes up, gets an and one.
And Cruz has a chance to get 20 points, which would be just another crazy stat line for him.
Yeah, if he puts this in, it'll be 20 points, 13 rebounds, 7 steals, 5 assists, and a block. There's filling it up, and then there's doing what Brad Cruz is doing tonight. He's just taking it to a whole nother level. Inbound to Francis, and Francis will be fouled.
Francis will gladly go to the line and get two more points. Not sure why they were fouling. I mean, I guess might as well try.
Yeah, if you miss both, there's a Reggie Miller situation in play, but unfortunately for the Redmen, Reggie Miller doesn't play for Carthage. As Francis knocks down the first, makes this a 3 possession game officially. Up 7, and that should be it. I can't imagine this game extends any farther as Francis puts in his 34th point.
Wheaton's going back to the conference tournament. They have not been there since the 2013-2014 season, but they are headed, maybe they could still host technically, but
they could. Yeah, we did a little bit of math. There's a couple bounces that need to go the right way for the Thunder, but there is a chance that the CCIW tournament is here in King Arena.
Yeah, it's still a possibility with 2 games left in the season. There's a lot of tiebreakers and things going on. There's a chance for a 3- or 4-way tie on top of the CCIW. Wow, going through the stats real fast. Aston Francis, 34 points, 6 rebounds. Kobe Eichelberger with 17 points and 13 rebounds. Monster game for Eichelberger. And we will go down to the court for post-game interview.
Thanks, Caleb. I'm down here with Thunder head coach Mike Schauer. Coach, for the first time since 2013, your men are back in the CCIW tournament.
Yeah, that's great. I'm going to tell you right now, we got bigger fish to fry. I did a list of goals, and we're just going to keep kind of checking them off, and certainly making the conference tournament was one of them. Proud of this team, but obviously, we're still in the mix for an NCAA tournament berth. We still got a chance to compete to win the conference championship. Obviously, I don't know that Wesleyan will lose, but they could lose. So we've got a lot to play for, and Saturday's big because North Central's somebody we're fighting a little bit with regional rankings, and obviously they have a win against us, so we need the next one. But I will say this, I'm proud of my team to get back into the tournament, but I'm really proud of the group of juniors and seniors that were here 2 years ago when we struggled. And I just told, hey, if you stay with it, those of you that stay, we're going to win before you're done. And we're real close now to accomplishing stuff. Some guys didn't stay, some guys did. And the character of the guys, the juniors and seniors that are here, is off the charts. And I'm mostly happy for them that they're going to get to experience postseason basketball.
And Coach, tonight's game was even a little bit of a switch that got flipped halfway through the first half. What was it that was the difference? It was actually exactly at the 11-minute, 59-second mark. Something happened where your guys just started hitting shots. What was that?
I actually don't know when he did it, but I think when Aston got a layup. Right, I mean, the way teams are, the way they played us was basically to say we're going to try to keep Aston from beating us, and we literally will let everybody else shoot. And it makes guys a little tentative, going, really, you're just going to let me shoot this? So I think if we're just playing pickup, I tried to tell me, if we're just playing pickup and you're wide open, you're gonna just shoot it. You wouldn't worry about it. But I thought Jay and Kobe had kind of got in their head a little bit, and they struggled wide open shots that they normally make in here. And I kept waiting for one of them to hit one, and I thought if they did, that would kind of end it. But I thought a big thing was Aston got a layup, and that kind of got him going a little bit. And they got out of the box and won after the start of the second half because, once guys settle in against it, you're just going to get wide open shots from it just to somebody else. So I was proud of our team to kind of persevere and find a way.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time. We'll see you Saturday. Your final score from King Arena, the Wheaton Thunder 85, the Carthage Redmen 77. The Thunder back in action right here in King Arena on Saturday against rival North Central College. That'll be senior night. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network. For Caleb Springer, I'm Nate Stein.